welcome to VARAC TV. I'm Duncan and I'm your host of the show today. And I'm going to be leading these two lovely people through a discussion talking about the different classes of racing. So before I get stuck into it, I'm going to introduce you all. First of all, I'm going to introduce Kim McKenzie. Hi, Kim. How are you doing?
How you doing? Nice to be here.
Good stuff. And I'm introducing Eric Scott. Welcome, Eric.
Hi there. Thank you for having me, Duncan.
Good stuff. Well, across the three of us, we are representing the three main groups of driving classes within VARAC. And we won't be competing with each other directly on track, but we can kind of compete to say who's the coolest and things like that. So my purpose here today is to get to know you both a little bit better and to share our experiences and classes of driving and what motivates us and stuff like that. So we're going to start off. I'm going to come to you first, Kim, and I'm going to ask you, what do you drive? What's the car that you've got?
Well, I have very nicely been gifted a car that was my dad's for years. It's a Star Formula Mazda. It's a 91, so it's a bit aged like me, hence being in VARAC. I've been racing this car. I had a previous Formula Mazda that once again, my father's. It's great to have hand-me-downs from my father.
Absolutely.
Um, and I've been driving this car for about, gosh, 4 years now.
Right, good stuff. And I spotted your car before, Kim, and I met you first of all at Calabogie. Tell me about the livery of the car.
So what it is, it's a Witches of Scotland tartan. Now, it was actually registered in 2025 from Scotland, and it's supposed to honor the victims of Scotland's historical witchcraft trials. So there is a
Ah,
story to it. And ironically, it was the only bloody tartan that the rap doctor have. But once I picked it, then I did some research, and I was like, Jesus, it was just meant to be.
that is so cool.
That's
Yeah.
neat.
Excellent. Eric, so I'd like to turn to you for a minute. What car or cars do you care about, and what's the racing that you do?
Well, cars I care about, there's tons out there. But as for what I race, I've got a VMAX Formula First car, which is just a derivative of Formula V. But I also am putting together another car for the new modern classic grid right now,
Yeah.
a 2003 Mini Cooper S that's it's getting a little down to the wire, but it's going to get there somehow, some way.
Excellent. Excellent. So just for you both, I drive a 1967 MGB GT. So
Mhm.
I'm in the VH group.
Mhm.
I've only been racing for this will be the start of my third year racing, so I'm still a
Oh,
relative newbie.
mm,
But I'm getting a massive kick out of it. It's fantastic. I wish I'd done it sooner.
nice.
I got the car from a great race driver, well known in VARAC, called Bob Eagleson.
Mhm.
And I got his car when he stepped away from racing. He's still doing a bunch of lapping in a really nice Mustang. But he retired from the racing, and I bought his entire kit. Um, okay, so that's me, and I'm into. I'll start off the second section, which is I'm into it because I started off being into MGs already. I'm chairman of the Montreal MG Car Club. I've been into MGs for about 15 years now, and my racing MG is my third MG. So I'm very cut through me. You'll just see MG running through me.
Mhm.
So Kim, for you, why open wheel?
Open wheel, well, it's the majority of time that my dad's been racing open wheel. He did GT3, GT4 with an MG midget. He did GT3 for years as well. Some vintage racing with an old Lotus Elite in Germany. But the latter part of his racing has been open wheel. And
Right.
come on, man, it's sexier too, It's open wheel. So yeah, that's predominant and like once again, hand me down. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've just spent a lot of time and this particular car is like an old Jim Russell car, so it's fairly it's easier to drive than say a 1600 or a Formula V actually, Eric, and stuff.
Right.
So it's I applaud you for that. Um and it's a lot more it takes a lot more wear and tear.
Right.
But yeah, and I'm a wee bit claustrophobic too, so hence the open wheel is a little easier for me to manage.
Yeah. Well, when I see the open wheels on circuit, I always think that you are the bravest of the drivers because
Ah, well,
you are.
that's all you need to hear. That's all you need to think.
Yeah, because you're the most exposed, and those wheels get really close to one another, don't they? So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I admire what you do there, Kim. So
Cheers.
so Eric, how did you get into your cars? Why the car choices that you've made?
Well, form of the first car that I've got, actually, my dad designed and built it in '95 when I was born, basically. So that's kind of always racing's always been around. My grandfather used to race the Cora series, Canadian Off-Road Racing Association, and
Yeah,
then Dad got into go-karting, Formula First, and he's done Formula Libra, Formula Ford, GT Sprints. He's got had a bunch of different cars along the way.
yeah,
I started out in go-karts in 2003 and then got into racing about 2019, I think is when I started actually getting back into it again.
very good.
So I started with the Formula First. It had a nice incident with the wall a few years ago, and I just haven't really gotten it back. It's been back to on the track since. I just
Yeah,
haven't gotten it out again.
right.
And I kind of want to try this Mini because
Yeah.
my dad's got one and I've really enjoyed it. And so I figured it would make a great race car, so why not?
So where and how far have you got with it then? How close are you to getting it ready?
I've done the easy part of ripping it apart, basically. So it's got a roll cage, and now I got to put Humpty Dumpty back together. So
Right.
I've got
Okay.
I got 90% of the pieces to put it back together. It's just
Yeah.
now hunker down and get it done.
Right. Okay. So both of you are hinting at parental influence that got you into racing.
Yes, yeah.
I'll come to you again, Kim. Your father sounds like it's the biggest influence because he's given you the cars to race. Can you
Yeah, like Eric,
elaborate?
like Eric, I was, born into it literally.
Yeah.
So Dad's been racing since I can remember, obviously. So yeah, obviously he's been my biggest motivation, and sometimes I didn't have any bloody choice. It was like get into the car and had a few accidents, quite severe accidents, and then I went back into go-karts just because at least when the end gets loose, you can just jump out and throw it back on. So there has been some scary moments. But yes, being my father's daughter, there's been no choice sometimes. Get back into the car. It's like riding, right?
Yep.
It's like get back on the horse. And fortunately, it's an iron horse, a little bit more dangerous, but yeah, obviously he's been my main motivator
Yeah.
and continues to be.
That's super. That's great. Eric, it sounds similar.
Yep. Well, basically, once my dad started racing and I was kind of old enough to go on my own, load up the super cycle and ride around Mossport basically
Right.
all weekend and watch races as a kid. So,
Yeah.
little guy and I had a little Yamaha dirt bike at one time and
Yeah.
maybe got into a bit of trouble there, but that's beside the point. And that's basically just been growing up with the track on the weekends.
Right. Okay. So for me, I didn't have a parental influence, but I did have a sibling influence.
Mhm.
My brother, living in Australia, but now lives in Toronto, he was into racing E30 BMWs
Yep.
in Australia, and he raced in a series there. So he was jabbing at me to get into it. And then Jody Leclerc is a friend of mine in the Montreal MG Car Club, and he got into it through influence of his dad, who raced MGs back in the late 60s, early 70s. So he
Nice.
was having a go at me. He started racing in 2018 with an MGB. So he was having a go at me. So I caved and jumped in. But there's now a few of us in our Montreal MG Car Club has got a big history in racing because early members of the club were involved in the conception of what is now the Circuit de Mont Tremblant.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Okay. Yeah.
They were helping with the design of it,
Oh,
and putting the early races on. There's old pamphlets of the Montreal
hmm.
MG Car Club putting on the races.
Oh, interesting.
Um, and today we've actually got 6 races in our club. John Nichols is in the club. Phil Cooper, Jody Leclerc,
Okay.
myself, my buddy Joe Spire started racing last year, and coming to Motorsport Racing for the first time at the
Huh.
Vintage Grand Prix is Neil Walwork, and he'll be racing a Mark II Ford Lotus Cortina.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
nice.
He brought one.
Wow.
He brought that from BC. So I've got influences around me, but it wasn't parents like
Nice.
you two.
Too bad.
Okay, so we've kind of covered how we got into racing. So, but I didn't get an impression of years. So how many years have you been racing, Kim?
Okay, well, I'm a woman, so I'm going to be kind of vague with things, but I started in 92 and I'm quite a bit older, so do the math.
92. Wow,
Yeah,
congratulations. That's a
yeah,
fantastic
yeah.
chunk of racing career there.
Eric, you probably weren't even born then.
Nope. 95.
So I think,
Ah!
did you say 29? Did you say 2019, Eric, for you? Was that roughly?
2019 in cars, yeah. 2003 in go-karts, and then
Okay.
a couple things before that, I guess. So
Okay. So the obviously the big event coming up in a few weeks. I'm going to be racing at Trombley at the end of May, but only 3 weeks after that is the VARAC Vintage Grand Prix.
mhm,
I assume you're both going to be there in some capacity.
Yep.
100%.
Mhm.
Okay. So, Kim, what are you looking forward to most about getting to the Vintage Grand Prix?
Well, once again, my dad will be coming, so I'll be taking care of him. He'll be in his sports racer. The Varick has just got such a good vibe to it out of all the most sport events, I mean, you have the parties and the camaraderie and it's just busy and it's just got that really cool vibe. And now that I've been going there for quite a few years, you get to know the same people. Um, yeah, it's just the atmosphere. It's
Yeah,
just got a really cool atmosphere with
yeah, yeah.
everybody.
What about for you, Eric?
Well, with all the new events going on this year, the costumes and all that, I've been pressing my dance moves, and that's what I'm most excited for.
Right
But
on.
no, I just honestly enjoy the crew of VARAC. That it's a lot more gentleman racing, and just a better community to get involved in.
Yeah,
Everyone's respectful, and everyone's interested in what you got, whether it's a newer car or an old vintage historic car. Everyone's kind of interested and respectful of what it is, and I think it's more enthusiast based, I would say.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Well, for me, I can't really draw out one thing because it's the whole thing that I'm looking
Mhm.
Yeah.
forward to.
Yeah.
Colleen's doing a fantastic job in pulling together the weekend as a whole and all the racing and stuff like that. But on top of that is all of the evening stuff where, I mean, we
Yeah.
get fed. So
Yeah.
we're all getting
Yeah.
together for
Yeah.
food and things like that,
Yeah.
and with the music on every night. I
Yeah.
The
really
social
think I
aspect of it
really think
is
the
is huge.
racers and the teams get looked after
Yeah.
at the event, where some other locations it's really just the racing, and then you go off and do
And
your
fend
own
for
thing.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the added element this year that I'm really looking forward to being a part of is the vintage part of it. With the VARAC Vintage Revival, got some new folks involved in the car show and amping up the car show. I think the more that we can make the vintage accelerate the vintage
Yeah.
aspect of it.
Mhm.
I mean, Goodwood was not much in the early 90s, and
That's right. Now look at
Look
it.
where Goodwood is
Sheesh.
now with the revival
Yeah.
of this Festival of Speed and things.
Yeah.
I think we might be aiming a little bit high to say we can get there in the next 2 years.
Never know.
But we're all driving the older cars, so bringing in the idea of vintage into the weekend itself, and not just the cars, I
Yeah.
think is a great idea. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
I've got a T-shirt that I made once with a big peace logo on it, and I was hippie hair and stuff.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
Not
I'm
sure if
looking
I'm
forward
doing
to
that this
that.
time. Well, we'll call it a day there. What we are doing though, aren't we, Kim and Eric, is that we're going to try and do some video correspondence from the circuit over the weekend. So
Mhm.
they won't be as polished videos with intros and outros and things like that. But I think it will be great for us to show a little bit more of the liveness of the event and what's going on and things like that. And if we can publish that on YouTube and get some people interested, then that might get a few more people to come along. It
Absolutely.
might
Exactly.
get
Yeah.
us a few more fans, and it might get us a few more racers as well, because we're always
Nice.
looking for new people to come into the sport.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Eric and Kim, thanks very much for joining me. That was a lot of fun. It's a pleasure spending a bit of time with you both. I've met you once at Calabogie, Kim, and that was brief and a while ago, and I'm only just getting to know Eric. So I
Mhm.
look forward to getting to know you a bit further, and we'll get together for some fun at Mosport.
Sounds good,
Well, good.
Duncan.
I'm excited.
This is Duncan for VARAC TV. Back to the studio.